Hello, students. How are you all? I hope you all are doing good. Children, as you all are aware, that we were discussing movement as well as the skeleton, different types of skeleton. We will find it out in animals and birds, insects, and how those insects or animals walk or crawl or move, those who do not have skeleton, what kind of a body structure they have or what kind of a skeleton they have, which help them, that is which allow movement in the forward direction, how they can walk or how they can move, shift from one place to another place. Since movement allows, movement means when you are moving your particular body part as well as you are moving your whole body from one position to another position. So the same we are going to find it out in the case of that different animals. Now vertebrate skeleton we have done about animals. We have already discussed with hydro different types of skeleton in animals, like hydrostatic skeleton, like consists of fluid which held under pressure in a closed body compartment. Now it helps protect other body parts by cushioning them from shocks, and it also gives the body shape. So these are this kind of a hydrostatic skeleton they will be finding it. We will be finding in different uh, animals. Then exoskeleton means when the skeleton which is found outside the body, that is rigid external skeleton. You can find it outer skeleton in the body of crab also, which is present outside. Now characteristics of the phylum and arthropoda, a group that includes insects, spider and crustacean such as crabs. So then endoskeleton, that is consist of hard or leathery supporting elements situated among the soft tissues of an animal. Now endoskeleton is a skeleton which is present inside the body. So here only when we are talking about the skeleton, which is an important part, as well as different parts of skeleton which is very important. So we are supposed to discuss the type of skeleton we will be finding in humans. So let's discuss that. That is vertebrate skeleton. Vertebrate skeleton means that is supported by a backbone which is known as vertebral column. And vertebrate skeleton, vertebral is column is the important part, as well as your hands, different limbs, leg, your skull, your neck, your breastbone, your rib cage, all these things in your skeleton, in a skeleton of a human being, is important. Now human being skeleton is consist of different parts. So let's discuss the first, the skeleton. The all vertebrates have an axial skeleton supporting the axis or trunk of the body. Now it consists of skull, vertebral column, and in most vertebrates or vertebrates, rib cage, and different parts of a skeleton. Now all vertebrates have an axial skeleton. Now here vertebrates means I am talking about human being, or we are talking about different animals, those who have such kind of a axial skeleton. Now this axial skeleton supporting the axis also or trunk of the body of that particular uh, animal. Now it consists of skull. So skull we have already discussed, but here we are going to understand with the help of picture. Since picture is very important when we are studying science, so we must understand what are the different part of it, and how they are packed with each other. Now backbone, as you can see in the picture, the definite characteristics of vertebrates consist of a series of individual bones. Now the vertebrae joined by pads of tough cartilage known as disc. Now number of vertebra varies among species. Now python have 400 while an adult has 24. Now python, if I'm going to discuss about the backbone of python is having more than about 400 vertebrae, and their vertebrae are so formed, like when they hold their prey, that will be crushed by this backbone only. They will be uh, holded in their backbone, like that bones within among these vertebrae, and then they will be uh, crushed. Their bones will be crushed by helping of these 400 backbone which is present in the body of python. That is why we will be saying that python is so harmful for a human being. If once any person is caught by python, they won't be able to get out of it, since they crush the whole body of that person. So that is there. The definite characteristics of vertebrates consist of a series of individual bones, the vertebrae joined by pads of tough cartilage known as disc. Now the number of vertebra or vertebrae varies among species. Python have 400 while an adult has 24 vertebrae only. Now 24 means a pair of. Fine, that is a pair of 24. Now you can find it out that 12 thoracic vertebra, then 7 cervical, which is connected just at the back of the neck, then 5 lumbar vertebra, which is connected to the hip bone, then intervertebral. You are not required to go into the depth of it, but you must be knowing the number of vertebra which is present, or the number of vertebrae, a pair of vertebrae which is present in the body. So that is very important to understand, that is very important to learn. Like 24 you have learned, like an adult have or has 24 vertebrae, so that is more than enough to learn it about it. So now we'll come to our next part. Most vertebrates have an appendicular skeleton. Now what do you mean by this appendicular skeleton, which is made up of bones of appendages and the bones that anchor the appendages to the axial skeleton. Now here what do we understand appendicular skeleton means? Here we will be talking about cartilage or the soft bone, which are working like a connective tissue, or ligaments also, and they through their axial skeleton they will be shifting their particular part to it, like the part of their different skeleton that will be hold together. So that is appendicular skeleton of a person. Now bones are complex living organs. Why it is so? That bones are actually complex organ consisting of several kind of moist living tissues. Now here moist living tissues, I am going to talk about cartilage, as well as I am going to talk about ligaments also. Now cartilage is what? That cartilage is, that is soft bone. If you will touch your ear, you will find it out that something hard which is present in your bones, but it is not so hard like uh, different bones which is present in your body. So your bone, your ear or the front part of your nose is made up of cartilage. Other name of cartilage is the soft bone. Soft bone, which is accompanied with ligaments also, which is working like a cushion, which is working like a cushion in their body. So bones are actually complex organ which is consist of several kinds of moist living tissues. So very important, bones are complex living organs. Bones are actually complex organs consisting of several kinds of moist living tissues. So just go through it, that what are the cartilage, in which different part you will be finding cartilage. Then here we are going to talk about, that is your ligaments which are present different in the different parts. Then your complex organs, uh, cartilage, then ligaments are working like a cushion. Then we have bone marrow also. In the picture you can find it out, this yellow kind of a structure which is your bone marrow, which is present in between your bone, inside your bone they are present. Many complex living things were present in your bone, and we just go through it one by one. Like cartilage is clear to us now. Cartilage is clear, like cartilage is a soft bone. Then ligaments, which is working like a cushion. Then we have bone marrow. Now bone marrow, sometime you have heard about it, like bone marrow which is present inside the bone. It um, is produced itself. So cartilage, then bone vessels which are also present, which are connecting, blood vessels which are which is present inside the connective bones also. So now the next you can find it out, cartilage inside it, that is bone marrow. Arm bone you can find it out. All these parts like cartilage, that is spongy bones contain red bone marrow. Now compact bone, central cavity, yellow bone marrow, fibrous connective tissues you can find it out, blood vessels you can find it out, and the two bones which are connected with each other, in between they have cushion like soft bones or connective bones were there, that is cartilage. Now cartilage is also important in terms of your body functioning. Now here what we find it out, that in your arm bone we have certain parts which all are very important, like bone, different bone structure, and all these things are very important. So you just go through it. Now what caused the color of yellow and red bone marrow? You might have heard about bone marrow, like a person who is suffering from some sort of cancer, their bone marrow can be transferred. Like bone marrow of two siblings can be transferred, bone marrow of father or mother, whosoever blood will match with the child, it can be transferred to them also. Now yellow bone marrow stores fat, while red bone marrow develops red blood. Now red blood cell, that is very important. Red blood cell is forming only responsible for forming blood in your body, and yellow bone marrow stores fat. And yellow bone marrow which is present, that is storing fat, and this fat storing bone marrow is responsible for, like, working like a cushion like structure or filled bone with that material, that is yellow bone marrow. And red bone is so important, like red blood cells, most of the like not most of the people, those who are suffering from cancerous disease like related to red blood cells, that blood cells are not forming in a person body. So red blood cells not be formed in their body. So this bone marrow will be transferred from the sibling, from the child, different child, from father to their children. And then red blood cells, which is very important, for forming blood in your body that will be formed in that bone marrow. Now, a healthy bone resists, stretch, and heal from injuries. If you have bone marrow, just now we were talking about the skeleton and how the skeleton, the whole structure is important, but each and every bone which is present in that structure is also as important as the whole skeleton. Since each bone is consist of this bone marrow, and this bone marrow will be providing, like, it consists of yellow bone marrow and red bone marrow, and they will allow to resist stress and heal from injuries. So that all is important. Like excessive bone fatigue can lead to so-called stress fractures, hairline cracks in the bone, just as the accumulation of small amount of stress on metals can cause a break. Now you might have heard that some of the people, they were saying that I most often get hairline cracks in the bone. Why is it so? Since their bones are not able to handle the stress, there's some sort of bone marrow is missing in it. Bone is composed of living dynamic tissues. Now cells continually remove old bone matrix and replace it with new material. Now our bony structure is very smart. Whenever we find it out that this bone is no use, what our body structure is doing, what our bony structure is doing, that this particular bone is of no use, just discard it. Like bone marrow which is present inside the bone cannot be discarded, like we cannot take it out bone from our skeleton, but instead bone marrow which is present inside the bone, that will be discarded. Like now this is not at all going to work fine, so that will be replaced with a new material which is forming. So bone is composed of living dynamic tissues. Cells continually removed old bone matrix and replace it with new material. A figure of a bone, you can find it out. See, most of the time, like if a person is going to meet an accident and then certain part of bone got crushed, so that can be replaced with a rod also. X-ray of a broken leg, you can see here, left and the same leg after the bones were set with a plate and screw. So first, in the first picture you can find it out that bone is destructed here, that it should meet a crack that will be cured by this will be cured by this that particular part of it. So the risk of bone fracture increases if bones are porous and weak. The risk of bone fracture increases if bones are porous and weak. Osteoporosis, you might have heard about this disease, that bone fracture increases, the risk of bone fracture increases if bones are porous. Porous means they are not such filled with that bone marrow or yellow bone marrow or with the fat, and they got some weak. Now normally it happens with the age factor first, or with the deficiency disease. If somebody is suffering from a deficiency disease which is caused by vitamin D, which is very important for our bones, then we might have we will be getting such kind of a that is important thing, like risk of bone fracture will increase in that case. Osteoporosis is characterized by low bone mass and structural deterioration of bone tissue. bone tissue will be deteriorated, is characterized by low bone mass and structure. Deterioration of bone tissues will be there. So healthy spongy bone tissues which are present in left, and bone damaged by osteoporosis, that is right. So osteoporosis is a disease uh, when the mass structure, the bulky structure of bones will get less, and deterioration of tissues will be there. Like deterioration of tissues like bone marrow will be uh, deteriorated in this bone. So osteoporosis, very important disease which is characterized due to by low bone mass and structural, it will be there, structural deterioration of bone tissues will be there. So healthy sponge bones you can find it out, and then one which got damaged due to that disease. Now other lifestyle habits such as smoking may also contribute to osteoporosis. Now there is a strong genetic component as well. Sometime you have heard that like mother is suffering from this disease, that is why I also suffering from that disease. Why is it so? That is this disease is a genetic component also. It will be shifted from one generation to another. Young women whose mother or grandmother suffer from osteoporosis should be especially concerned with maintaining good bone health. So if they will keep some precaution, and if will they are going to take good care of their bones, like their grandmother or their mother are suffering from osteoporosis, if they are going to take good care of their bone health, they might have reduce the risk of this osteoporosis. Now, treatment for osteoporosis including calcium and vitamin D supplement and drugs that slow bone loss. So, you will be getting vitamin D supplements, calcium supplement, as well as the medicine which slow down the process, that is slow down the uh, process of getting loss in bone, so that we will be getting there. Now joints we will be discussing in the next class, and other lifestyle habit like such as smoking may also contribute to osteoporosis. There is a strong genetic component as well. So young women whose mother or grandmother suffer from osteoporosis should be especially concerned with maintaining good bone health. So, treatment for osteoporosis including calcium and vitamin D supplement, as well as the medicine which slow down the process of getting deterioration of bones. So here what we have done lot in this video about our whole skeleton. Now the first, now here I am going to mention here like backbone is given, but here skull is not given. Now skull, we have again an important part of bony structure, that is skeleton, bony framework. So skull is containing total number of bones, that is 22. That is 8 in your head and 8 in your head and 14 in your faces. So next, if these many number of bones were there, so they must be connecting with each other. Now this connection is that connecting points between or connecting part between two bones, that is known as joints. Now joints permit different types of movement. Now versatility of the vertebrate skeleton comes from its joint. Then ligaments which are present, like bands of strong fibrous connective tissues were there. Now certain types of joint, not only ball and socket, hinge and pivot joint, we have done hip joint also, then shoulder joint also we have done. So joints which allows different types of movement we will be finding in the joints. Now joints are only responsible to move from one place to another place, as well as the versatility of the vertebrate skeleton comes from its joint only. Then joints which are, or the two bones which are placed together, in between we will be finding ligaments. Now ligaments, what does that ligaments do? They are the bands of strong fibrous connective tissues which are responsible for the which are very much responsible for the movement. So that is ligaments, bands of strong fibrous connective tissues. Now three kinds of joints are there. Joints, a simple definition of joints, if I am going to mention that two bones meet at one point, or the point where two bones meet is called joints. Now joints permit different types of movement. Like there are certain joints in your body which allow movement only in forward direction. Some of the joints which allow movement in forward and backward but not side by side. Then some of the joints which allow movement in 360-degree. So these certain kind of a joints which are given, like pivot joint, and then we have muscle contraction also, we are going to see about it. Okay, so here we are going to do it about pivot joint, or sometime it is called pivot joint also. Now pivot joint between the first and the second cervical vertebrae allows movement of the head from side to side. Now a pivot joint enable us to rotate forearm at the elbow. Pivot joint is responsible for forearm at the elbow. Fine, it allows movement in all the direction, like 360-degree rotation. Pivot joint, after that we have that is hinge joint. Hinge comes from hinges of the door, which allows only backward and forward and backward movement. So that is very important that you all will go through it, and that is pivot joint is more important in it. So pivot joint done, then your hinge joint, then ball and socket joint. Now ball and socket joint is a kind of a structure, like one bone is having hollow structure and other bone is having ball like structure which will fit inside that. So that is your ball and socket joint. So joints, we are going to take it in our next class. We are going to start with the type of joint only in the next class. So that is very important, like pivot joint, then we have ball and socket joint, then we have uh, that is hinge joints. Apart from this, that is your muscle contraction also possible only with this type of joint which is present in your body. So that muscle contraction also we are going to take it in our next class. So here we are going to finish the class, children, and I hope there is no doubt that what all concept which we have done today. So most of the concept, like type of skeleton, how do they fly, how we will be finding different types of movement in it. Now muscle contraction is very important. If you want to move, if you want to show movement, then muscle contraction plays an important role. So that will be there, that will be there, you will be finding it, and I hope that is clear to you all, and you will not be facing any issue in this type of joint. So next class we will start with the muscle contraction. Pivot joint clear. Hinge joint come from your door. Hinge is which forward, which allows only two movement, that is forward and backward, and all these things. So I'll be finishing the class.